Ethiopian Prime Minister has suffered a serious setback. That is why no talk of Ethiopia Somalia talks, which were due to be concluded within 2 to 3 months, and it was being said that Ethiopia will reach an agreement with Somalia through the mediation of Turkey. But an interview by Egyptian foreign minister sheds light on a development which is a serious setback for the Ethiopian Prime Minister. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. Firstly, in the last video, I sought some suggestions and recommendations for live chats. Several viewers said, Sajid, we wait for live chats. Please resume. Please continue. Live chats are a good way of interacting with you. Yes, we will resume live chats from Friday. Thank you for sharing your input. Your input matters a lot. If your input is not there, then it's difficult for me to keep going. You keep me going, by the way. It's not easy to make 3 to 4 videos a day. It's difficult job. But you people, your comments, your appreciation, your support keep me going. Support in terms of sharing of information. Some people buy super chat stickers. That's also helpful for me. But the most important and helpful thing for me is your sharing of information with me. Because one man cannot cover entire Horn of Africa. And I think I have managed to cover all the main developments in Eritrea and Ethiopia in the last few years. All that is possible because of you people. All day I respond to your emails, your WhatsApp messages, your Twitter messages. We share with each other what we have learned. We build analysis too. And I am happy to talk to all of you. From government, from opposition, from armed groups, from Eritrean opposition, from Eritrean government side, from Fano, from Amhara government, from PP, from Tigray, TPLF. If everyone stays in touch with me, that's what I like. That is why I miss live chats, because live chats help me remember you. Anyway, back to this video, viewers. Ethiopian Prime Minister has suffered another serious setback, I think. Egypt is the one which is at the forefront of striking a heavy blow to the Ethiopian government. Egypt obviously has its own concerns. It wants a legally binding agreement with Ethiopia over good, grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Ethiopia says it won't sign any legally binding agreement. It will only share goods, operational data with Egypt. Egypt not agreeing to Ethiopian suggestion. Several rounds of talks mediated by African countries, European countries failed in recent years. Now Ethiopia is on the verge of inaugurating the dam. Power production has already started. Egyptian foreign minister has given an interview to a news outlet. Badr Abdillate in that interview said that we sent a message to Turkey. Egypt sent a clear message to Turkey that the military presence of any non-Red Sea country is unacceptable to Egypt. It's a red line which should never be crossed. He said, we sent this message to Turkey in the backdrop of Ethiopia-Somalia talks. So Egypt said in this message, it told Turkey that you are mediating between Ethiopia and Somalia. But You should know that we won't allow Ethiopia to build a military base, a naval base on Red Sea. That is why no Ethiopia Somalia further rounds of talks have been held. They just met, I think, once, if you remember. I think Somalia offered Hobyo port to Ethiopia and Mogadishu port too, because new port is being built near Mogadishu. New airport is also being built there. But that was not full sea access. It was difficult for Ethiopia to secure the entire route from Ethiopian border all the way to Hobyo, all the way to Mogadishu, because the connecting road will pass through areas which are very destabilized, which have presence of Al Shabaab too. So Ethiopia, Somalia held one round of talks, I think, on the specific Turkey. Then we did not know what happened. Last year, when Turkey mediated between Ethiopia and Somalia, it announced that uh, the two countries will start talks, Ethiopia and Somalia, and within 2 or 3 months, they'll reach a deal about sea access, about port use by Ethiopia and Somalia. Why is that Ethiopia is silent, Somalia is silent? The bilateral talks mediated by Turkey are not in the news. Reason, I think, now is clear. Egypt sent a message to Turkey that Ethiopia cannot be allowed to build a naval base. And Ethiopia wants a naval base. It wants to have full control over the route from its territory to the port, full control over the port. It wants to deploy its naval forces there. Unacceptable for Egypt. That is why Somalia not interested, maybe. Turkey sent the same message to Ethiopia. Ethiopia now is considering other options. So another setback for the Ethiopian Prime Minister. Now it means that either he will have to revert to Somaliland MOU, or he'll have to strengthen his narrative about access to sea through Eritrea. We are hearing that Abdurrahman Erdogan president could visit Ethiopia and the MOU could be under discussions. I said that in a video. Why? Because Ethiopia Somalia talks have almost failed. Almost failed. I wouldn't say they have failed, but signs are there the talks might not be revived. Ethiopia could either revive its MOU with Somaliland. Again, that revival of MOU is very dangerous because, again, you could see Somalia, Egypt, Eritrea alliance against Ethiopia. Ethiopia won't be able to implement the MOU. Perhaps it won't be able to implement the MOU. Second option is Eritrea, and this is what Ethiopia is working on now. I think now Ethiopian government is fully concentrated on building a narrative to gain access to sea through Eritrea. Other options have failed. Djibouti announced a few days ago, Ismail Omar, Djibouti's president, gave an interview to John Afric, and he said that we offered the Jora port to Ethiopia, but Ethiopia wanted full control over the route to the port and it wanted to establish a military base there. So we refused. Ethiopia has suffered another setback after Djibouti. Somalia is also not ready to allow Ethiopia to build a naval base. Somaliland, Eritrea, two options left now for the Ethiopian Prime Minister. He is changing his goals very rapidly. Goals in terms of access to sea. Through which country should Ethiopia have sea access? I think he made some mistakes, he made some blunders. He's all focused on Eritrea, but Eritrea is calling it a matter of its sovereignty, or integrity. It is ready to fight. Eritrea is ready to fight. Eritreans say that if Ethiopia tries to make a move towards Assab, they will fight no matter what happens, no matter how small Eritrea is. So dangerous situation in the Horn of Africa. Either Ethiopia will have to revisit its strategy, its narrative of sea access, or Ethiopia, Eritrea, armed escalation could erupt. When all signs are there, war is not imminent, but since Ethiopian PM is frustrated now, his other options of gaining sea access, he has exhausted other options, you can say. He's left with just one option. We cannot call it an option because basically he wants to force Eritrea to agree to giving away a port to Ethiopia. He's not going for legal course so far. He could have gone for legal course. He could have filed a case if his situation, if his legal position is strong. He should have gone for a lawsuit, but so far Ethiopia has not filed a lawsuit. Rather, it's building diplomatic pressure upon Eritrea. It is preparing for proxy war on Eritrea. Eritrea is doing the same, building diplomatic pressure, contacting other countries, and backing proxies against Ethiopia. Overall, bad news for Ethiopian PM that now Egypt is fully uh, opposing, and it's at the forefront of denying military access to Ethiopia on Red Sea. Thank you for watching.